Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I came in today to talk about this Amber Guyger trial. Y'all, it's bothering my spirit. I don't know why I'm watching this because it's making me so freaking angry. Okay, y'all. I have a whole bunch of questions for this broad. I had to turn it off because I am going to take race out of this for a moment. I just got some questions for her because this whole thing does not make sense. So this is what I believe the defense wants us to feel. Because she made a mistake getting off on the wrong floor, and because she was distracted when she was on the call with her man talking about what they were going to do to each other that evening, that we are supposed to excuse her for killing this 26-year-old man. Now that's what they want us to do. Basically, y'all, she made a mistake. She was distracted. Let's let Becky go. No, no, no. Because there have been people that have been convicted and who are serving life in jail right now for lesser offense. Has she been a regular citizen and not a police officer, she would be in jail. So let's just go from there. Again, this young man was 26 years old. His name is Botham Jean. His family calls him Bo, and that's how I'm going to refer to him. So this is the story where the police officer got off on the wrong floor, went to an apartment that she thought was hers. Upon entering, she thought there was a burglar, so she fired twice and ending up killing Bo. Now, Bo was at home. Today I watched the trial, and I saw the video from the officer's camera when he entered the apartment. Now, when I can open my eyes and look, because y'all, I didn't want to see that young man laying there with his life leaving his body. So the little bit that I did see, he had on some white shorts which looked like the average men's white boxer shorts, and it looks like he had on a t-shirt, and he was on the floor by his couch. Keep that in mind, okay? On the floor by his couch. I watched those officers perform CPR on him to try to, let him hang in there so they can get to the hospital and get that bullet out of him. But the bullet had done so much damage, going in at a downward trajectory, tearing up everything in its path, that he was dead pretty much there on the floor. So y'all, here are the questions that while I'm watching this trial, I'm asking myself. I'm putting myself in the seat of one of those jurors. The first question that I have is when she got off on the wrong floor. So what they showed is that they have a parking garage, and you can park in the parking garage and then use the little walkway to get to your floor where you live at. So she lives on the 3rd floor and he lived on the 4th floor. So she backed in her truck into a parking space, and then she had a clear view of what was in front of her. So something that the prosecutor asked, he said, when you were on the 4th floor, you are on the highest floor, so your vantage point of the view around you is going to be different than what it looks like on the 3rd floor. And I thought about that, y'all. That is true. If you are used to getting off on a certain floor, when you look out, say your vantage view is right across from a department store, and that you see like the marquee and a couple other floors, but you don't see anything above it because you are on a lower floor. When you're on the 4th floor, which I think the building only had 4 floors, your vantage point is going to be different. Okay, so let's get past that. So now she's on the floor. She's on the fourth floor. And she's walking down the hallway. Now, y'all, let me just stop here. I have an elderly friend who lives in what I call an old folks village. Because in this little community that she lives in, there are apartments, townhomes, flats, and all of that. She happens to live in the structure that has the apartments. So in coincidentally, in her situation, there are 4 floors as well. And my friend actually lives on the 3rd floor. This is so weird. So when I'm walking down that hallway, I've been over there enough times to know that certain doors have wreaths on them, that I know that when you get halfway down the hallway, there's a little table and chair. And I guess it's because these people are old and those hallways are really long, and it gives them a moment to sit down and catch their breath. I know exactly when to expect that chair to be coming up. I know when I go past the door that says that this person needs oxygen, I know when I'm going to get to that door. There's also one door that you walk by that always smells like, and God forgive me, but you get this pee smell coming out of it. And I don't even live there, y'all. So my question is, when she was walking down the hallway, if you live on a floor, you notice that your neighbors have floor mats, they have wreaths on their door. They even said that one of the neighbors on her floor had a big plant sitting outside of her door, and she would have had to pass that. So when she didn't pass familiar things, you know, didn't she start to question? At any point did she say, wait a minute, where's Miss such and such's fern, and where's this person's wreath on their door? All that kind of stuff. These are the questions that I have. If I was a juror, these are the kind of things that I would be asking myself. Then, okay, she gets to his door. Now, first of all, at his doorway, he had a red welcome mat that was right outside his door. It was brilliant red, bright red welcome mat outside his door. She knows that she doesn't have a red welcome mat. Was that not a sign that maybe look up at the apartment number to see where you are? But again, they want us to believe that she was so distracted, so out of it, so whatever, that she didn't notice that red floor mat in front of a door that she thought was hers. Okay, then another thing. Now this is all before she enters the apartment. From what they describe, their doors work like this. The locks on their door work like this. When you put your key in and you turn the key, when the door unlatches, it turns green. But if you put your key in the door and that key is not for that door, it will not allow you to turn the lock, and it will turn red. Okay, so before we enter her apartment, there are a couple things that I just want to say. Now, I'm thinking that Bo left his door unlocked. The reason why I say that is because they say around 9:25 or so, 9:30, he went out and got some ice cream. And he came in, they show his flip-flops, looked like he kicked them off once he came in, and he went and sat down and was eating his ice cream. You know, it's hot. He probably was trying to get it before it started to melt, and he may have forgotten to lock his door. Okay, because my thing is this: if she was using the wrong key, then she wouldn't be able to get in, right? Her key shouldn't work for his door. So the only thing that leads me to believe is maybe Bo left the door unlocked. Okay, now we're going to open the door. So when she opens the door, I'm going to stop again. The way that their apartments are set up would be identical. But there were some things that are in her apartment that she would have noticed that weren't in his apartment, because in this trial they showed his apartment, and when you open the door what you see, and then they showed her apartment, and when you open the door what you see. Now, I wasn't clear if they said that his lights were out and he was sitting on the couch watching TV, or were the lights on when he was sitting on the couch. Okay, now when I watched the video, he had an ironing board set up with an iron on it. The iron was not even knocked over, y'all. Y'all know, any woman out there knows that if you're ironing and you sometimes bump the ironing board, the iron will fall off of the board onto the floor. So if he was being aggressive and charging at her, if he would have bumped that ironing board, that iron would have been on the floor. If you watch the video from the officer's camera, they slid the ironing board over so they can get back and forth. That ironing board was still, the iron was still on the board. Also, he was laying on his back, okay, and he was right by his couch. He had not entered that kitchen area where she was, so he posed no threat to her. Also, they said the trajectory of the bullet was downward, meaning he was getting up off the couch, which he was well within his right if he's in his own home. You're sitting on the couch. Picture this, folks. You're sitting on your couch eating ice cream, watching television, kicked off your flip-flops, and you just chilling on the couch. All of a sudden, your front door opens. The first thing you're going to do is jump up. If you were not expecting anyone, you're wondering what's going on. Who is this coming in my house? So she got him as he was jumping up off the couch to try to figure out who this was coming into his apartment. Okay, so when she came in, if she thought someone was in her apartment, now mind you, she's ignored the red mat outside the door. She's ignored that the door was unlocked. She's ignored all these different things, all the different apartments along the hallway, all of that. She's ignored because, remember, she's quote unquote distracted. So now she's in the apartment. She sees a man there. She is a police officer who's trained, who has a gun. Why didn't she back up, yell something? Who are you? What are you doing in my apartment? Why did she immediately fire 2 shots at this young man? I just don't even understand that. You don't yell a warning. You don't ask who he is, how he got in, blah blah blah. If you have a weapon. Now, if you're a woman entering your apartment, and there's a strange man in there and you don't have no weapon, the first thing you're gonna do is take off running. But remember, she has a gun, so she's not afraid because she is armed, and she has disengaged her weapon, and she has her weapon in her hand, aimed at him, and she fires 2 shots before she even asks him any questions. Keep that in mind. Now he's shot. He's laying on the floor, gasping for air, fighting for his life. This bullet has entered his body, traveled all through, hitting all kind of arteries, muscle tissue, all of this stuff. This young boy is laying there suffering. Once she realized that she had made a mistake and she was in the wrong apartment, and she shot this young 26-year-old man, he's laying there bleeding. My question is this: why, if she's trained as a police officer, didn't she immediately start to administer first aid? She could have called 911, because y'all, we have speakers on our phone. put the phone on the floor, and as she waited for them to pick up and explain what happened, she's administering, first aid to this guy. Okay, you say you made a mistake. She said 19 times that she was in the wrong apartment. Why didn't you start to administer first aid to him? Why, moments later, you're out in the hallway and you're on the phone with your partner, the partner that she rides in the car with, who is in real life her man, telling him, get here, I need you quickly, it's an emergency, I need you. She's on cell phone video walking back and forth, pacing. I'm pretty sure she was upset to realize that she had just killed someone, or shot someone. At that point, I don't know if she knew that he was dead. Okay? Why was she calling her boyfriend and talking? Now, I could understand you being upset, blah, 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 all of that. If it was me, I probably would have called my parents or my parent. Get here, I need help, and I would have hung up. I would explain the situation, and I would have been so distraught that I wouldn't have been able to do anything further than that. But someone downstairs from where she was standing videotaped her on their phone, walking back and forth, talking on the phone. Now, she did look distraught, don't get me wrong. Okay, y'all. And another question that just really boggled my mind when I was watching the trial today, and I kept waiting for the prosecutor to ask this question. On the 911 call, she kept saying, I thought I was in my own apartment. I thought this was my apartment. Now, prior to that, the 911 operator asked her, where are you at? And she says, huh? And the operator repeats it. Where are you at? We're sending the police now. She gave an apartment number. She gave, I'll just say 1478, which the 4 represents the floor that you're on. Here's my question. Once you realize that you were not in the right apartment, because obviously you're not, there's a black man laying on the ground, on the floor, that you just shot to death. How did you know what apartment number that you were in? Why couldn't it be that you made a mistake and you got off on the second floor where the apartment number would be 1278? Now, if she had gotten off on her correct floor, her apartment number would have been like 1378. How did she know? If she was all confused and didn't know where she was at, how did she know that she was on the 4th floor in this specific apartment number? How did she know that? That just confuses me, because when you realize that you were on the wrong floor, could you have been on the floor beneath yours, which it would have made it apartment 1278? How did you know that you were at 1478? That just kind of boggles my mind, y'all. I don't know how this all could have happened. Was she so caught up in the conversation she was having with her man that she didn't pay that much attention to where she ends up on the wrong floor, ends up shooting this man to death? And she wants us to let her go home okay, where nothing happens to her. She doesn't go to jail. She doesn't pay in any way for taking his life. See, y'all, Bo was where he was supposed to be. That young man was where he was supposed to be. They tried to make a big deal out of him smoking some weed. He was in his apartment, home, eating ice cream in his house. She entered his house. And as the person that lived there, when someone opened your door and entered your apartment, you are in your castle. And even if he was going towards her, trying to figure out who she was and what was she doing in his apartment, wasn't that his right? You remember just a few years ago, we were talking about, stand your ground and all of that. Well, Bo, just say he was lunging at her. Did he have the right to stand his ground in his own apartment? Okay? Did he have the right? See, y'all, I see what's going to happen here. Already they're pulling the Becky card. This blonde, blue-eyed officer, poor thing. She was so distracted. She had worked a long day and she had put in 13 hours, which officers routinely do. They want that overtime. So they put in those long hours. But this was at the end of a long day. She was just so tired and distracted and ended up on the wrong floor. And it was all just a big, unfortunate mistake. But this young man is laying there in a pool of his own blood, not outside of his apartment, not on her floor, in his apartment, laying on the floor, shot because she made some mistakes, because she was distracted. But I know what's going to happen, y'all. They're going to play up her good officer role. They're going to play up all her Becky-ness, y'all, because I refuse to call her Amber, because that's my daughter's name, Amber. So I'm referring to her as Becky. So they're going to play up this Becky thing, make white America feel sorry for her, and the pressure and all of this stuff, that jury's going to crack like we see them do all the time, and she's going to get off. And y'all, let me just say this. Just say by some miracle of miracles, she is convicted. I don't see her doing past 5 years. I believe they will try to give her like 20 and she'll do like 3 to 5. She's going to get away with walking into that man's apartment and blowing him away. And y'all, the reason why I say that I cannot watch any more of this stuff, I'm a mother, y'all. And the thought that one moment he was sitting there watching TV, eating ice cream, and the next moment he was laying there fighting for his life, and he had no idea. He didn't even know what happened. Everything happened so fast that he probably has no clue why he's dead, because it happened so fast. It is one of the saddest things that I've heard in the last few months. I can't even say a few years, because y'all, every few months we have another one of these senseless shootings of black men where whoever shoots them get off no matter what the circumstance is. So y'all, I want to know if you've been watching the trial. Have you tuned in a little bit? Or even if you haven't watched the trial, those questions that I asked, the jurors have got to be asking that. Now, I know I was on Neptarian's live feed today, and he was streaming the trial, and we both were just saying we know that he's going to get off, that she's going to get off, that this poor boy is going to be, his character is going to be run through the mill and all of that, and she's just going to get off, y'all. I'm rambling now, so I'm going to get off. What I want y'all to do, because I forgot what I was going to tell y'all, is just leave down in the comments what you think. Do you think she's going to get off scot-free? Do you think that if she does some time, that it's going to be token time, where they'll give her about 5 years and then let her out? They don't want Becky to suffer too long. Let me know down in the comments, y'all. Thanks as always for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye now.